church family. Just wanted to spend a minute just to dive into a story in Scripture which has been helpful for me during these times, and a song that has really ministered to me and just my own soul as I've been dealing with my own bouts with anxiety and stress and fear, as I'm sure many of you are as well. But there's a passage that's found in Mark chapter 4, a pretty familiar passage where the disciples are on a boat in the middle of a huge storm. And Jesus, he's sleeping on the boat. And in the midst of their panic and in the midst of their fear, the disciples, they go in a rush to go and wake up Jesus. They scream at him almost reactionarily and say, "Don't you even care if we die?" At which point we know the rest of the story where Jesus, he gets up, he rebukes the winds and the waves, and they calm down. And, I think we've heard that story preached a lot in regards to our faith, right? That the disciples in that moment, they went to wake up Jesus out of their fear, and they were rebuked for that, right? That's what the Scripture says. But as I was reading this Scripture over and just processing through that, I think the encouragement that I took away from it this time, what Lord was leading me towards, was that there was this moment when the disciples, acknowledging the fear that they had, acknowledging the stress that they were under, they realized that Jesus was in the boat with them. And they saw him as a viable option to find their own salvation. Now, I don't know about you, but just speaking from my own experience, last night I once again woke up at 3 o'clock and I was just in a panic, right? And I felt my heart, it was just beating really, really strongly. And I can just tell that the stress and the anxiety was all there. And I know for me personally, I hope and I pray that in those situations that my first reaction would be to acknowledge that Jesus is there in the boat with me. And quite frankly, a lot of times I don't know if that's my first reaction. A lot of times my first reaction is to just say, I just need to calm myself down. I just need to, get up, get some water, force myself to go back to sleep. But really, I hope that I could take the encouragement from the disciples and just realize, even if it's a showing of my lack of faith, or if it's an acknowledgement that the fear is definitely there, I want to be able to go to Jesus first and to say, hey, here's my fears that I have. Here's the stress that I'm holding. And right now, I don't feel like you're there, but I hope that I can know that you were still there and that you were with me. So as I was reflecting over that, it really just reminded me of this one song that I've been singing just kind of a lot this week. Me and Emily, we sang it this past Sunday just while we were sitting on our couch. And it's a song that's called Still, that really speaks to the storms that will arise in our life, right? And we're in the midst of a big storm right now. And even though Jesus, he may not automatically quiet the storms that we may be facing, he does promise to be there with us. So I just wanted to share this song with you, and hopefully it'll give you a measure of peace and encouragement to seek out Jesus in the midst of your own situations, whatever it is that you may be feeling. So why don't we just go ahead and take just a few moments just to center ourselves, to acknowledge the fear that you may be feeling inside. And if you are familiar with this song and you want to sing, feel free to sing along. Let's just take that moment of centering prayer right now. So prayer is that, especially today, for this weekend, that you can find your moments of stillness, your pockets of peace. And I pray that those pockets of peace would just continue to expand and grow and encompass the entirety of your life. Knowing that in the midst of our storms, that we can still locate peace. God is still with us, and that He cares for us. He loves us, and He's with us. So hopefully that's just a brief word of encouragement for you. And we look forward to connecting with you more throughout this week during this time. So have a good day. See you guys.